guess we'll just get started then.
Yeah, we gotta figure out how we're the intro.
You gotta give me a let's get ready to mumble.
Let's get ready to mumble.
Oh, it needs to be more like the guys on the.
Let's get ready to mumble.
Yeah, exactly. It has to be really energetic and dead sort of annoying. So it's like if we do it when you're just chatting and then get into it, it's very sort of obnoxious. Do we just have to do a harmonized version?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we should just be like, let's get ready to mumble.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get ready to
mumble!
Hi, I'm Kayla.
And I'm Liam.
And this is Mumblecast.
Hey, it's Liam. We lost a little bit of audio, so I'm just adding in what we missed out of what I said just prior to starting our podcast this week. Enjoy. Hello, so this week Kayla and I are going to be speaking about some of the differences between America, the USA, United States of America, and Great Britain. To start off, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Great Britain. Great Britain, or the United Kingdom, is composed of a very small island in Europe. Great Britain itself is combined of England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. The United Kingdom is just Scotland, England, Wales, the main island itself. Technically our capital is London, a very well-known city of up to about 6 million people, I believe. The UK itself has got about 50 to 60 million people. I'm not 100% sure of the exact numbers. England being the biggest of those countries, followed by Scotland, then I believe Wales, then Northern Ireland. They're all 4 different countries, even though the United Kingdom can be considered one big country in a sense as well. I'm from Scotland in particular, which is the best out of the 4 nations, if you ask me. We've been around for a long time. At one point we ruled about a third, if not more, of the world, but that's kind of changed a little bit now. And that's about it. Kayla, what have you got about the United States?
So America is composed of 50 states. There's the South part. That's where we're currently recording in. And then...
Yeah, we're currently recording. So, you got 50 states, and you said how many people around?
300 million?
300 million?
Yeah.
And...
It was declarated in 1776.
So it became an official country, I assume.
Yes.
Yeah, other than just sort of wee areas.
Yeah.
And what's your capital?
Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C. And what is your currency?
The U.S. dollar.
Very nice. I think that's pretty much all we need to know at the beginning, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier than Britain. Britain's a little bit more complicated, I guess.
Yeah.
So as I may have mentioned last week, I moved across to the States a year ago. So I've had a year experience in the States. Kayla's been to Britain for 2 weeks at one point.
We took like 2 or 3 trips to... No, way more than that. Like 4 or 5 times.
Oh, okay. So she's been a couple of times. Not quite for an extended period of time, but enough to...
get an idea.
Yeah, enough to get an idea. And what were the immediate things that you noticed differences? Like the obvious ones that even people in like Asia could tell you the differences.
Just the language. Just different words used for different things. Driving on the other side of the road.
I was about to say, that's probably one of the biggest ones that most people in the world notice when they come to Britain. Because we drive on the left side.
Yes.
And I think so does Japan.
Maybe.
And I don't know if anyone else does, but I think like Monaco maybe, which is that place in between France and Italy or something. But I don't think anywhere else does. Everyone else drives left, right.
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of confused me a little bit. I don't quite know why Britain does that. I think it goes back to horse and carriage days.
How hard was it to switch?
You know what? It was the easiest thing in the world because... Well, not the easiest thing in the world. The only thing that I still do that I did in Britain was I look over my left shoulder to reverse instead of my right. Okay. Whereas in Britain, you would look over the left shoulder all the time to look into the middle of the car. But you guys all drive automatics over here, so there's no need for a gear stick. And that makes it so much easier. When you don't have to change gears, stopping and starting, it's just like driving like a go-kart. And that makes, changing the lanes. I'll probably come onto traffic later because that's a big thing I've noticed. Cars and driving. But the transition was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. For sure. I'll talk about it now. It was a little bit more difficult because there's so much traffic on the road. And that's probably not the whole of the US. It's set in cities, I'm sure. LA, Houston. I'm going to say probably Atlanta, we'd probably
New
say
York.
Chicago, New York.
DC was pretty bad.
Well, maybe New York's maybe not as bad because it's compact, whereas Houston's really spread out. So is
That's
LA,
true.
so everyone's
Yeah.
driving on these highways that are super large.
And driving like 90 miles an hour.
Yeah. People don't follow speed limit. The speed limit is the fastest car and will match that speed.
Yep.
That's pretty much how it goes here. And the police don't do anything about it, really, unless you're driving like 50 and a 30 or something ridiculous more than that.
Yeah, transportation was one of the topics. Let's go ahead and talk about that.
Oh, we actually got that. Oh,
Yeah.
Perfect. I forgot you mentioned transportation.
Yeah, so just driving on the opposite side of the road. And also the cars are opposite. I didn't realize that. I don't know why I didn't realize that, but I didn't realize that.
Okay, so you mean the steering's on the right hand side or
Yeah.
the left hand side? Okay, yeah, I guess that makes, yeah. Which is quite annoying for UK, because if you ever want to import a car, not only is importing super expensive, it's really not advised because it's on the wrong side of the road. So if you wanted to, like, for example, I'm sure you've maybe got about this, the type of car is massively different, especially here in Houston. You've got big trucks. So what would you consider a truck? If I said to you, what's a truck?
A Ford or, I don't know, like something big. A Ford or...
Okay, so you go to a Ford, and specifically you'd maybe mention like a F-150,
Yeah.
or you'd maybe go to, you know, like a Tundra or a Raptor, or I don't know what else there is. There's hundreds of them.
Dodge Ram, something like
Yeah.
that. I don't know.
But for the UK, a truck is considered like a freight truck, like a 18-wheeler type thing. That's what we consider a truck. We call that either a truck or a lorry, and that's it. So when you come over here, everyone's driving trucks, but what we mean is basically flatbed trucks. I don't know if that makes any. That seems silly because it's still a truck. We don't get them in Britain. I know 2 people that have them in the whole of Britain. Everyone I've ever met. We drive hatchbacks, which are 3 or 5 door cars. Well, you guys know hatchbacks. You have hatchbacks here, right? They're really small, dead easy to drive, dead small, and they have very small engines. We have like a good sized engine in Britain's like a 1.4. It's a good sized engine in Britain. Where here 1.4 is something, you know, you'd give your 16-year-old kid if they were learning to drive, maybe, you know. I have friends who drive like 5 litre, you know, 4-door car. I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense to me. Why do you need 5 litres of engine? But it's all fun, I guess.
And then we don't have, well, roundabouts aren't as common here, but you guys have a lot of roundabouts.
Yeah, we don't have anywhere near as many intersections as roundabouts. So for those who don't know, roundabouts are basically circles in the road where you've got 3 or more roads kind of meeting, and you'll go around. In UK, you go around the, gosh, I'm kind of getting right hand side. No, you go on the left hand side.
Yes.
You turn left until you find the exit you want to come off, and then you steer off. So I'm assuming places in the world have them, but I've only seen maybe 1. I think there's 3 in Houston. There's famously 3 in Houston. Someone once told me that, or something like that. Anyway, but yeah, roundabouts are everywhere.
What about stop signs? Do you
No
guys have stop signs? Yeah.
No stop signs at all.
Yeah, we didn't have them in the Netherlands. There was one in the Netherlands.
Yeah. Well, we have stop signs, but it's not like at every junction. So in the UK, you have lines on the road which dictate who has right of way.
Okay.
So if when you come up to the end of a street, if it's got like dashed double layered lines, then that means you have to stop. And if it doesn't, it means you can keep going.
Okay.
So that's how we dictate it instead of a stop sign. So
Yeah.
we do have it, just not
In
the same
different way.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you guys have them everywhere.
Yeah.
You guys have them like in car parks. Car park. That's another word where I could come to. You guys call it
Parking lot?
We
Yeah.
call it car park. You have them car parks. You have them down street. And some streets it takes you about an hour to get down because you're driving 20 meters stopping, driving 20 meters stopping. And in the UK, you don't have to stop. It's not against the law not to. So even if it has a dashed lines, you can drive right through if you can.
If there's nobody there.
If you can look and see there's nobody coming. But that was one thing I had to. My dad came over to America for the first time in like 40 years. For my brother's wedding like a year ago, and he didn't know that. So we were driving. He was following me to get to where we needed to go, and I would stop and drive on. He'd just drive straight through behind me, and I was like, "Dad, you gotta stop, otherwise, A, you could get pulled over, but you could also get a crash because it goes turn about a little bit."
Yeah. And then turning right on red. You guys can't turn right on red, can you?
That was another thing that threw me. I often still now I go up to a red light and just stop. And I don't move. Even
People
if I
start
turn
blowing
right.
their horns
people
behind
blow
you,
my horns,
yeah.
And I'm like, oh god, okay, I forgot I've got to move. Which is good. I think it's actually that's probably one of the things I do like.
Yeah.
Turning right on red, because we also don't have as many lanes. So when you come up to traffic lights, often in the UK you only have one lane of traffic. So it's not as if one goes right and one goes straight ahead, or 2 goes straight, one goes straight and right. It's usually just one way. So you have to wait for the lights in a sense, I guess. So that's probably how we deal with that.
And then, so last for transportation would be like public transportation. So the U.S. doesn't really have very good public transportation.
Mm-hmm.
In some major cities, yes, but most of them, no. Like Houston doesn't have very good public transportation.
Yeah, it's weird because I would consider Houston a major city.
I know.
I suppose that comes back to the fact that the size of Houston, like the land area, what you consider to be the Houston area, is quite dramatic. Because I know you can fit. So there's in Houston, you've got like a loop of traffic, a loop of a highway, and then you've got a bigger loop of a highway out. And the inner one's called 610, I think, and that's got sort of the main part of Houston. And within like a quarter section of that, you can fit, I think it's something like 7 of the city I used to live in, Aberdeen in Scotland. You can fit 7 of them just in one small area of Houston, which seems ridiculous because Aberdeen's a city. You know, it's one of the biggest. It's like the 4th biggest city in Scotland, but you can only fit 7 of them within a quarter of the inner loop of Houston. It's mental. So I guess it would be a lot. The buses would take ages. They would just be travelling so far. It's not economical.
Yeah.
Well, it is, but to start it up, isn't it?
Yes.
Economical.
I don't know. I really liked taking public transportation when I was in the UK, especially London. London's really the only place.
Well, London's a bit like New York in the sense
yeah.
it's got an underground. Oh, London they call it underground. New York was it
subway?
Subway.
Yeah.
And I know who else in America has one? Does anywhere else in America have an underground?
Boston has the T. It's like, I can't remember if it's underground or not.
I know Toronto's got one, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool. If you go online, you can look at all the underground maps of different cities around the world. There's not many of them. It's quite cool. London's a big one. Glasgow's got one, which are like 2 lines. Glasgow's the biggest city in Scotland. 2 lines, and they're used a lot, but compared to London or New York, they're just babies. Where else has one? Chicago? No?
I've never been. I have no idea.
No idea.
So, you can type in on our Instagram or Facebook or Twitter and let us know where in the U.S. has public transportation underground.
Which has the best. Or
Which has the best.
Put in your best and worst experiences of your public transportation. Yes. I think public transportation has a great heritage of ridiculous things going on. Especially like in the UK, we have a lot of buses. Buses go everywhere in the UK. Especially in Edinburgh. Edinburgh's got a really good bus system. But anyone can go on a bus. I'm assuming it's the same in America. Anyone can go on a bus and it's cheap. So you get some really bad. Especially in Edinburgh, you have the night bus, which is, you can guess from the night. That's when all the drunk tards go home on the bus, and you get some crazy antics going on there. What else? Anything else transportation wise?
I think we're good.
We'll go a little bit of transportation. It's a little bit more wide than public transportation, but travelling abroad is something that Americans don't do as much. No. Now there's that famous fact that you hear, only like 20% of Americans have passports or something ridiculous like that. But I think it's probably true.
Probably.
You know, there's a bunch of people I know that haven't even left Texas, never mind the country. I mean, you've got that many people. But in Britain, everyone has a passport and everyone uses it as soon as they get it, which is birth. But because we go on summer holidays. In other words, we use holidays for vacation. And we because Europe is so close, we just go to Spain where it's hot. Britain doesn't get hot. Well, I say that if you're in London and South England, it gets quite hot, but up where I'm from, it gets pretty cold all year round. So you'll go fly to Spain or Italy or Portugal, France, anywhere like that, dead cheap for a week. That's all holidays.
Yeah. It's also a lot more expensive to fly here, even just like state to state.
Yeah.
Than it is to fly there.
Which I don't quite understand because people are flying constantly here. Yeah. It must be higher taxes or something, I guess.
I don't know.
Because I know it's even more expensive to fly from here to the UK than it is from the UK to fly here.
Yep. So we can move on to holidays since we just talked about it.
Great transition.
Yeah.
Holidays.
So what's like the work-life balance between the US and the UK? What have you noticed?
I think
you
never think you never have enough holiday. No matter where you are, no matter how much holidays you get, you'd never feel like you've got enough free time. Even like I had some friends who took a bit of time off work, they just didn't do anything, and they felt like they needed a holiday from doing nothing. And it's like, what? You're crazy. But we in the UK, depending obviously what sector you work in, and I'm sure people will argue this, you probably work between 30 and maybe 45 hours in a sort of general. I know that's 15 hours difference, which is quite big, but I think most people will probably work between 35 to 40 hours a week. Okay. On top of that, though, we get roughly about 30 holidays a year. So that's vacation days, 30 vacation days a year. And this isn't this isn't including public holidays, so some places have public holidays on top of that. Like I know if you work for the government, you get like 30 days holiday, plus you get like about 6 or 7 public holidays. And then you can work overtime and get that time back. So they will only ever pay you the same amount. But if you work, 24 hours in the month extra, you can use that as holidays, essentially.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Yeah.
So we're quite generous in the UK. It works really well. And I know already, after a year, I know it's not the same in the US.
No.
So what's typical here?
So typical here is 10 days paid vacation and 6 holidays.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
10 days is 2 weeks off work, if that.
Yep.
And then 6 days.
6 holidays.
Oh, 6 holidays.
Yeah. But that's like Christmas and...
Oh, so these are your public holidays.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so those you have to take.
Yeah.
And they're so let's go through them, because these are the ones that we don't have in Britain. So, we have 2 of them, which are Christmas.
Yeah. It depends on the place. Like Christmas would be one of them, probably. 4th of July, maybe.
Oh yeah, and that'll be a holiday.
Memorial Day.
Okay, so what's Memorial
Or
Day?
Labor Day. I get them confused.
Okay, so I think Labor Day is the one in September.
Yes. Memorial Day is the one in May.
And I know I have Labor Day off.
Okay.
I don't know about Memorial Day. I don't think I did, but I might have done.
I don't remember.
Can't remember either. And you have 2 days of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. So 2 days at Christmas.
Okay. Because I think they do Thursday and Friday, or maybe it's just some places, but most people get Thanksgiving off regardless. So that's not even that many public holidays, really.
No.
So in total, like
16
days.
Yeah.
That seems crazy.
Yeah. Compared to like 28 to 30.
And working hours, you're probably working a lot more as well. I know since I've come across, it's been an increase.
Yeah, I found the average was like 38, but I think it's more than that. I think it's higher than that.
Yeah, well, I know I'm to be working like 40, and I know most of the people I speak to are working well above 40. I'm sure it depends on your job and stuff, but in Houston, it definitely seems 40 is the minimum for oil and gas. I should say yeah, oil and gas or medicine. I'm sure that's probably about right. Yeah, so that holiday time, we essentially have an extra 2 weeks holiday. Some depending on the job, maybe some more, maybe some less, which is great. And that gives us, I suppose it helps relieve stress a little bit, I assume. It also helps with kids. We don't have to pay as much for looking after your kids over the summer holidays because you take a little bit more time with them. So that's probably a big difference between the UK. It's one I've noticed.
Yeah.
I've got to schedule my holidays a little bit tighter. As a teacher, you might get more holidays though, because I know you get like 2 months a week at the summer in the US, where you only get like 6 weeks, I think, in the UK for your summer holidays. So being a teacher would be quite good, I guess.
I actually have the education one.
Oh,
the average, where was it? Yeah, so US summer break is like 3 months, and UK is 6 weeks. Yeah.
That seems so long.
Yeah.
When are you learning?
During the other months.
Okay, but this is when I went to school, so it's probably different there. And this is in Scotland. England and Scottish school systems are different. But you do 6 weeks in the summer. You have a week in October, October break. You have 2 weeks at Christmas. You have a week in February, which is like a mid-term break, and then you have 2 weeks at Easter, plus your 6 weeks. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. About 12 weeks off a year, which is your 3 months.
Yeah.
So
we just get usually 2 weeks off at Christmas, then a spring break, which is a week, and that's usually a few days off at Easter, a few days off at sometimes Easter and spring break fall on the same thing. Yeah. And then a couple of days off in fall.
That's alright.
Yeah.
And plus your public holidays and stuff, I assume.
Yeah.
Obviously all that adds in. That's not too bad.
Yeah. There is a big push though, because
push for
doing less during the summer. Less time off during the summer.
Okay.
Because a lot of kids forget everything.
Yeah, I always remember that when I used to be in school, that we'd come in and here's a big change between the UK and the US. And it was actually quite a nice transition. The date. Now this is almost all around the world as well. But in the UK, typically you will write day, month, year. The transition, it goes up. You go the smallest unit, bigger and bigger. But the US, what do they do?
Month, day, year. Month,
day, year. That's ridiculous. So that's one of the most confusing things when you come over here. You're like, I've never heard of the 29th month of the year. What? That doesn't make any sense. But obviously you do figure it out quite quickly, but I've come to start writing the 15th of June or whatever it is instead of 5, 15, 6, 5 or whatever, because just the wrong way. Not be 6:15
Yeah.
the year, because that seems too complicated. But information on this, I heard it's due to filing systems.
Really?
So I can't remember who it was. Oh no, I do remember. So a friend of ours told me that, because she loves organising, it's all about organisation. So when you have the big filing cabinets and banks, whatever, instead of being like the first thing you look for the day, so 1, 2, 30 or 29 or 28 or 30, it would be months. So you'd have 12 spaces, and each one of those 12 spaces would have your number of days, rather than it being all the days. And it was easier for them to go through like the tabs on the files by going month, day of the month, and then year. So apparently that's why they do it. I still don't like it though. It's still confusing.
It makes sense though.
Well, with the filing stuff, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Anything other than that, it seems strange.
Yeah.
To put the month before the, like, you don't put. I can't think of anything that has any relation to this, but I don't know. It's what you grew up with, though. For you, it's second nature.
It was very hard for me to switch.
Yeah, because they do it everywhere else in the world. Literally, this is one of the few many things that we probably mentioned today. America, the only ones that do, or only ones that have, or seem to, which is fine because it's one of the biggest countries in the world. But
we're also one of the only ones that don't use military time.
Yeah, see, I thought this was another thing. Like, don't get me wrong, when you learn time in school, you do learn 12 a.m. p.m.
Okay.
But as you get older, you just generally move on to military time, and it's quite nice. I quite enjoy military time.
I do too now.
Yeah.
I don't have to.
Anybody who's listening who hasn't got military time on their phone, stick it on your phone. It's a good, really easy. All you do is you take the number that's on there and you what do you take away?
Subtract 12, right?
It's like I subtract 2, and then just like take away the second number. So if it's 2,000 hours, you take away 2, which takes you 18, and then you just take away the 1 altogether. So you just ignore that bigger digit, and it becomes 8 o'clock. Easy, and it's a much better way of looking at time. I don't know, you feel more grown up if you look at military time.
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
I feel a lot smarter now that I've changed it.
Yeah, I don't know why. Also, yeah, I don't know, quite like it. But the school thing, yeah. So when I came back to school after the summer, I would always forget how to write, and I never knew how to write dates anymore. I don't know, it was just a weird thing that I had. I'd come back, because we used to had a jotter, which we refer to as our book, like our school book. You'd open it up, and then you write your name and the date on the top of every book. And I'd always forget what order the numbers would go in, all that sort of stuff. I know it seems weird, but so I was maybe doing American by accident. I never could do that after every summer. But yeah. Yeah. So I know what you mean, even after 6 weeks. So I can't remember, it would be about 3 months.
3 months is rough. Also, so education was another part of this. Just like the school systems in general are a lot different. Like we have elementary, middle, and high school. And you guys have like stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, that kind of stuff.
I don't know about stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, but talk me through you guys, and then tell me what you think have for the UK, and I will correct or confirm.
Okay, so the US has elementary from 5 to 11.
Mm-hmm.
Middle from 11 to 14, and high from 14 to 18. Sometimes middle is a little different. What
about kindergarten? What's that?
That's like 5. That's elementary.
Oh,
so elementary would be kindergarten through 5th grade.
Okay. Middle,
6th through 8. High, 9th through 12th.
So as soon as you start school, you're first of, grade 1.
Mm-hmm.
When it goes from that, be kindergarten or elementary, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Is that right for you?
Well, no, it'd be kindergarten and then 1st grade.
Okay,
so first grade is
1st grade.
Yeah.
And that's elementary.
Sometimes preschool too.
And then the numbers will just ascend all the way up to the last year of high school.
Yeah, 12.
Okay. So grade 12 is last year of high school.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we go till we're 18.
Okay.
And then you can either choose to go to college or not.
Yeah. And
college and university is the same thing here.
Yeah. Yeah, slightly different in the UK.
Yeah.
So how long do you have to go to school for?
So that's a good question. I don't think it's 18. I think it's like 16.
Yeah, because I know it's 16 in the UK.
Yeah.
You have to go into your 6. You have to have 11 years of education before you leave school. Oh no, yeah, I kind of would be right. Yeah, okay, that kind of makes sense. Okay, so you basically have 3 stages: elementary, middle, and high.
Mm-hmm.
To go from grades 1 to 12. And what ones do you get exams, or do you have to pick classes and study them? Do you get to pick? Or does that not happen?
Usually it's like the same for everybody, like a college prep type thing, where it's just like
Because you do, what's the SATs?
That's the test you have to take in order to get into college.
Okay, so that's just one-off test.
Yes.
And what year do you do that? Year 12? Grade 12?
Between 10th and 12th.
Oh, so you can do it...
You can do it multiple times if you don't like your score.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's that? Is it like...
It's just like a...
all-encompassing test?
Yeah.
Okay. And does it mainly English and maths, or is it English, maths, history, biology, science?
Remember. I think that one's just English and math and writing. And then the ACT is a different one. And usually you take both. ACT is more... It has like the social studies science side of things.
Okay. And that's what gets you into university. And what's a good score? Like, what did you get?
I don't know.
No?
I think I feel like 1600 is like perfect. Let's look that up.
What does SAT stand for? Okay, let's try and guess. Was it SATs? Is that what is this?
Yeah, SAT.
So it must be something test.
I guess.
Oh, something student aptitude test, maybe.
Scholastic aptitude test.
Scholastic.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good word. Scholastic.
It takes 3 to 4 hours, and the highest you can score is 1600.
1600.
Yeah.
And how? I'm assuming you don't know how that's numbered or why that 1600 is highest. And is there like a lowest, or can you get 0? Can you go in and get like a 10?
400's the lowest.
Okay, so you get basically writing your name, you get 400.
Yeah.
Okay, that kind of works.
I think I got like a 12. Something.
And is it something like you go in with like a 1200, and then for every question you get wrong, it deducts, and every question you adds one? I have no idea.
I don't know. And then ACT it's a little bit different. It was
ACT.
American College Testing.
Okay. So if I got a 1600, if I got a 1400, whatever, a good score, a half decent score, I have no idea what it is, and so will colleges have different requirements for, like, I have to get a 1400 to get into law at Yale, or is there more to it?
I mean, there's more to it than that. It's like your scores plus your GPA plus
that's another thing,
different
we don't have
things.
GPA.
You don't have GPA either?
No, because you have continual assessment throughout the year. Is that right? And that's where your GPA comes from.
Yeah.
And GPA stands for?
Grade point average.
And the max is 4?
It depends. Yes. So 4.0 is yes.
It's perfect.
But if you take honors classes, sometimes those are weighted different, and it could be like 4.5 to 5.
Because you've got more classes, so average goes, okay.
Yeah. It gets really confusing.
Because the classes mean more, so okay, I see. But as a standard, it would be 4 point. It would be A's essentially, all A's.
Yes.
Okay. And that would be throughout the year, you'll get an A, 2 B's, and a C. So that'd be like a 4, 2 3s, and a 2. And average would be 3 point something.
Yes.
Okay. That makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's more applicable to your everyday life.
Yeah.
Like, as in, like, how good overall you are. You're not just crammer. You don't just cram
Yeah.
it before and happen to.
So this would be like homework and tests and everything.
Yeah. So it keeps you at a consistent level more throughout the day, which is kind of good actually.
I don't
so
know.
in the UK, it's really different, and it's confusing because Scotland to England has different school system itself because we kind of have our own governments. I'm not going to go into that too much. Maybe a little bit later on, but anyway. So when I was at school, which was a number of years ago now, you have nursery, which is, you maybe do it for 1 or 2 years, and that's between like 3 to 5.
Okay.
Depending on how your parents kind of wanted to, when they want to start you. Then you start primary school, and you do primary school, or we did primary school from, you do P1, primary 1, up to P7, which is primary 7. And that's from the ages of, I guess, 5 up to 11 or 12, depending on when you were born in the year. Then we go to high school, or in Scotland you go to high school, and then you're for 6 years from, well, we called it S1 to S6.
Okay.
Which just essentially being on 6 years there, and that's from 12 to 17 or 18, depending again when your birthday is. And the school system, that's fine. It's the same amount of time as you guys do. We have exams in S4, S5, and S6.
Okay.
And when I was at school, this has changed now 100%. I know it's changed, but we did standard grades, we did hires, and then, so in S4, or S3 to 4, so high school year 3, you would pick 8 subjects.
Okay.
So you have to pick English, maths, you have to pick a modern studies type thing, which would be either modern studies, history, or geography, social studies, sorry. Then you'd have to pick a science, which would either be biology, chemistry, physics, and then you'd have like a couple of leftovers where you could pick art, music, you could pick another science, you could pick a language, Spanish, German, French. Oh no, we had to pick a language as well. Spanish, French, or Italian. German, French, Italian. Yeah, we'd have, no, German, French, Spanish, we'd have Italian. So you pick 8 of them, and then you study them for 2 years. Straight in at the end of the 2 years, so when you're in 4th year of high school, you do 8 exams. Well, you do exams for 8 different courses, but you have 3 French exams, 2 English exams, and 2 maths exams.
Okay.
So you did 1 maths exam with a calculator and 1 without, and then you did a writing, reading, and something else for English, and then you do like an oral and a written one for French.
Okay.
And then you get grades at that. Now that was graded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
This gets even more confusing. So this is probably long gone, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But so in standard grades you can get credit, which is 1 or 2, essentially A or B. General, which is 3 or 4, and then foundation, which is 5 and 6. Now typically after the first year they'll put you in certain classes depending on your abilities already. So just throughout the year, however you can go to the credit, and if you do the credit exam you can only get credit or general score. If you do the general exam you can only get a general or foundation score, and foundation you only do a foundation score. So even if I was in a general class and I happened to get really good by the end of the year, you were still limited to a 3, which is kind of shitty. Yeah. But it was just how it kind of developed, which is unfair. Now depending on your scores on that, then you got to go into S5. God, this is going to be all about schools. Basically, S5, you picked 5 exams. At the end of S5 or 5th year of high school, you did all the exams for them, all 5 of them. You had to pick English. You didn't have to pick maths anymore. Did you have to pick English? No, I don't think you did actually. And basically you'd get A, B, C, D. Simple things. And then in S6, if you want to stay on for another year, which most people did, you could either do more hires, repeat hires if you failed them, or you could do advanced hires, which are like better ones. I did my hires. What did I do? English, maths, chemistry, physics, technical studies, art and design, advanced physics, and product design. That's what I did. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4 A's, 2 B's and a C, I think.
Cool.
I was a smart kid.
And those like transition to like university?
Yeah, so this is how we get into uni. So every university you go, I wanted to do, say you wanted to go do mechanical engineering, which is what I wanted to do. Depending on the university, they would request you'd need 4 B's in total. Okay. And 2 of those B's had to be in applicable things such as maths or physics type stuff. If you went to medicine, it might be all A's, and this or that, and depending on what university, if you went to a good university, it'd request more and less, etc., etc. But that's how it straight up transition in. If you didn't have the grades, you didn't get in. That was it. Okay. It's as simple as that. You can't, no extracurricular activities or anything that could really get you in most of the time. Okay. Yeah, but school system's a lot different, and we don't have any GPA. So most of my studying, so we do prelims, which are like Christmas time. We do exams, which are basically exactly the same as the summer ones, but they don't mean anything. And I feel I've never ever passed a prelim. So my teachers were like, "Oh, you're gonna fail. You're crap. You're rubbish. If this was GPA, you would be 0 because you got like an E, which isn't even a score." And then I'd go get an A. So I was pretty good at cramming, which is not the best way of learning, clearly. But,
you got it though.
Yeah, it got me into uni, I guess.
Yeah. I also read that schools aren't as focused on extracurricular activities, like sports and stuff. Like that's more of a U.S. thing.
It really is. So let me ask you, how many different types, or what were your options of sports you could play at school?
God. Basketball, volleyball, soccer, tennis, softball, swimming.
American football?
Yeah.
Athletics? Could you sprint? Could you throw?
Yeah, cross country. There was cross country and track.
Swimming? You said swimming.
Yeah. Baseball.
Water polo?
No, we didn't have water polo. We didn't, at least.
Badminton? Field hockey? Ice hockey? Anything like that? No?
Not where I went to school, but in this high school I taught at, there was lacrosse and field hockey, wrestling. There's so many.
So that was easily 10.
Yeah.
That's probably not all of them.
No.
And these are the ones that you could basically compete for your school.
Yes.
This is high school.
Yes.
And elementary?
Elementary is more
Not
just
so
like
much.
clubs and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was 10. You could compete, and they put emphasis. So did you have a day of the week, or was this all outside school hours?
Outside school hours.
Okay, so that's still you have to put time in, but
Yeah.
and parents get behind this, and they put a lot of money into your country. Like you have big, like good sports facilities at schools, right? So that's excellent. I wish I had that in the UK. So here's my big list of clubs I could play football for the school. That was about it. We could play basketball. My school was a bit unique in the fact that we had a really good basketball team because we had one of the best basketball facilities in Edinburgh, but that was just by chance. That was it. Now, when I got a little bit older, we sort of intertwined rugby, which is my sport, with one of the local clubs, but it wasn't a school-driven thing. That was really it. Now, don't get me wrong, we did have like a club on Wednesday after school. You could go play badminton or ping pong for a little bit, but you're not training as a team. There's no coach. You're just going, and a PE teacher's there taking it. So it's nothing like your goal is a national championship type thing. So that was maybe 4 sports.
Yeah.
We had, that was it. Everything else was out of the school. There's no Portobello. Portobello is my school in Edinburgh. There's no Portobello teams for anything.
Okay.
Which is really depressing. And the thing is, it didn't mean anything if you played for the school. You didn't get any props. Nobody was like, oh yeah, he's the captain of the football team. No one cared, and no one came to watch the games.
Okay.
I played basketball in year 1, my first couple of years of high school. I think my dad probably came, and maybe like 2 other dads, but that was it. It wasn't.
Yeah, isn't this a huge thing here?
Yeah.
And like people get scholarships and go to college for it.
Yeah, well, that transitions right through, because your high school was, especially in the south, crazy about things like football.
Yeah.
As in you have whole towns that are just all about the high school football teams. And then, as you said, college, the amount of money, the amount of money college football teams have. Like, this is one of the biggest things, as being someone who likes sport in the UK, notices that your sports, more people watch college football here than they do watch like national leagues. It's crazy. I wish I was like, oh man, I'd be so good at sport if I had that. Like, don't get me wrong, I played a lot of rugby. My dad pushed me, which I am so grateful for, and I had a passion for it. But if you had like proper coaches pushing you to be the best you could be, I'd have loved that shit. That would have been amazing. What did you do at school?
I played basketball sophomore year.
So what, your sophomore? So that's another thing you guys have. Sorry, continue with the sports first, and I'll go on a bit of sophomore.
Yeah, so I played basketball sophomore year. Was not very good. I don't know. Yeah, and then I ran cross country for 2 days.
2 days. Is that how long it took you to get cross country? And that was it. Done.
Yeah.
Not longer than the game.
Yeah.
That's quite funny.
I mean, everything else I just did outside of school.
Yeah. Yeah, we had to do a lot of stuff outside school if we wanted to do anything. Like, I did swimming, and I did very little amount of gymnastics when I was younger, and I did some martial arts, but that was all outside school.
Yeah.
My mum and dad had to pay for it type thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, sports in America is crazy, just in general. So I've got a little bit of information. Let's see what I've got about sports, because you guys love your sports.
Yeah.
You love having the elite of the elite, even though you don't always have the elite of the elite. This is interesting. So, what do you think the top 5 sports in the US are?
Football.
So by football she means American football for the rest of the world.
American football.
Football.
Baseball. I don't really know what the other 3 would be. Those are the ones that are always pushed.
Yeah. So I would say, so what I've found is that American football is the favourite.
Yeah.
It's got about a 40% favouritism. And then you've got basketball.
Okay.
And then it's baseball, or softball, kind of mix. Then soccer and ice hockey.
Okay.
These are the 5 main sports. Now you obviously all play. They play all types of other sports, and hundreds and thousands of millions of people play these different sports. But these are the 5 main ones, and these are the ones that people watch on TV. And you've got national leagues, and they make millions and billions of pounds a year. But how many of these sports do you think are in the top 5 of British sports?
Soccer.
Yeah, you're right. That's it.
Yeah.
So the top 5 in Britain is football, with about 50% of like people watching it and are interested, maybe 45, 50. Then you've got rugby union, which you guys hardly play. tennis, cricket, and athletics. Now, I'm sure some people would argue some of these, but TV viewings, participation, and like interest in, these are the main ones that you'd have, which is a lot.
What is included in athletics?
That would be basically anything that you see in the Olympics.
Okay.
So it'd be like the track stuff in the field.
Yeah.
Track and field, essentially. But we don't have any American football. We don't have any baseball. We don't have any. We have a little bit American football and ice hockey, to be fair, and obviously we have a lot of soccer. But it's crazy. Okay, here's another one for the rest of the world. Top 10 for the rest of the world participations. Right? I want to say, I'm going to give you got 10. You've got 5 guesses. Well, no, let's say 10 guesses to guess what's on that list
for the rest of the world.
Yeah, so I've got 2 lists, but they're very similar. But so the most participated sports in the world.
Football or soccer.
That's number 1.
Okay.
That's a massive majority. Try and guess number 2. I bet you in a million years you won't guess number 2. It has been mentioned today.
Badminton.
It is. Damn.
Is it?
Fucking million years.
Yes.
I think it's funny because I said it was mentioned today. I don't know.
No, I was about to say badminton anyway before you said that. Yeah.
Okay, so badminton's number 2. That primarily due to the Asian countries.
Yeah.
Whether it's, well, I'm assuming Japan and China have a massive majority of badminton, but that's played a lot over there. Number 3.
Cricket.
Cricket's in there. I've got this as, well, on one list it's number 7, another list it's number 3.
Okay.
But yeah. So why do you think that is?
Huh?
So that's big because of primarily British colonies going to like Australia and India, and people like India's all about like cricket. They've got 1 billion people and they all love cricket. So that's why that's participated in the list. But and another interesting fact: the first ever international sport to ever played between 2 countries was cricket.
Really?
Guess which 2 countries played it? The first ever sport to be played against 2 national teams.
2 national teams.
I want to bet you again, but I've already lost 2 million years, so I don't want to try that.
I have no idea. Like India and...
Nope.
I don't know.
Apparently, I read this, I have no idea how true it is, it's between Canada and the USA.
Really?
Apparently that's the first ever international sporting event. Cricket between America and Canada.
That's crazy.
Strange, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know if you're going to get the rest, so I'm just going to run through them. We've got soccer number 1, badminton number 2, field hockey number 3, volleyball number 4, basketball number 5, which kind of makes sense for it to be in there, tennis, cricket, table tennis, baseball, which I'm not 100% sure on, and then golf at number 10. Another list would be football, basketball, cricket, tennis, athletics, rugby, Formula 1, boxing, ice hockey, volleyball. And that's obviously not participation. I think that's how many people watch it, because there's about 20 people that do Formula 1 every year.
What is that?
Oh, so so that's another thing. Motorsport. Formula 1 is the biggest motorsport in the world.
Okay.
But down here in the south, they're all about NASCAR, going around in circles 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Formula 1 is like probably some of the fastest motor cars. It's like the really slim one-man driving big wheels. They go around the laps. People like who's leading it right now? Lewis Hamilton, the British guy, and Sebastian Vettel. And one drives a Mercedes, one drives a Red Bull. I don't know. It's massive. It's pretty big. They earn lots of money. Yeah, so that's like the differences between American sports, which is crazy. But if you go to, so as you've heard it, hardly anybody plays American football. Yeah, America's the only place to play it. Really, we have some teams in other places, but there are I think it was released earlier this year that the most big, well, they call the other teams franchises because they make a lot of other stuff, but the richest team in the world is Dallas Cowboys out of all sports. The richest major league sport and people in the world is Dallas Cowboys. So that sort of goes to show how big a following they have, that they can make us more money than any soccer team. To be fair, the rest of the list is all soccer teams, but for them to beat all the soccer teams shows you that they must have a hell of a sort of business if all the money they make from it. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. What other things can we know about sports here? Yeah, just the fact that you guys spend so long watching the sports. Like during the football season here, you have like Friday night high school, you have Saturday college, and then you have Sunday the NFL, which
and
is
it's an all-day thing.
And they love it, yeah. Because it bloody takes 4 hours to go through a 30-minute game or something,
Yes.
is it not?
Yeah.
No, you have 4 quarters. 60 minutes, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's tough. See, we don't do it like that. Rugby's a much better game. Rugby's my sport, and it's an 80-minute game. You do 2 halves of 40 minutes, and it's constantly playing. We do have like scrums and line-outs which stop the play, but it's a much better game. That's where American football came from, rugby.
Really?
So rugby came from football in a place called Rugby in England, and then American football came from rugby.
Okay.
Yeah. And basketball came from Canada. It's not even an American sport. I was a Canadian school teacher that made baseball. Made baseball? Basketball. Baseball, I have no idea where it came from.
I don't either.
No, don't care, because it's boring.
Yep.
What about ice hockey? How much do you know about ice hockey? Who won the Stanley? Here's something from last week, see if you remembers. Who won this? Oh, damn, I just kind of gave it away. Who won the Stanley Cup the last 2 years in a row?
It's the Penguin team.
It is the Penguin team. Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yes.
But that's apparently had a bigger attendance than the NBA recently.
Really?
And
because people like to watch them fight.
yeah, I guess that must be it. And I know Russia and like Sweden and Finland and Norway and all that have ice hockey teams as well. Probably nowhere else south of the equator. But yeah, the ice hockey I don't know hardly anything about. Apart from it's in the Olympics. Same with basketball and football. Baseball, American football aren't. As you can assume why, because it takes so bloody long to play, I guess.
Probably.
Even rugby's in there now. As is volleyball and field hockey and pretty much every other sport mentioned on the list.
Nope.
Minus. Well, you know, hey, what do you think the 6th favourite sporting event watching TV in the UK is?
6th favorite sporting event?
Yeah, you wouldn't even consider it a sport. Snooker.
What
Snooker is essentially...
What is that?
So yeah, I was about to say, you know, you guys play pool and you might know what
Okay.
billiards is. Snooker's like a difference. Not quite pool, not quite billiards.
Okay.
It's like in between, but it's great. My granny used to watch it all the time. She used to love it.
It's like watching golf.
You know what? It is, and it's a little bit more. It's exciting. It's not so exciting. I think it's tension.
Okay.
Everyone loves it because of tension, because it's very quiet. There's a place called the Crucible, which is like one of the biggest places. I think they play snooker in Britain, and it's always very quiet. It's very quiet. So you know they line up their shots and they take their shots. It's not like pool. It's quite fast and stuff. It's very slow and it can be fast, but very slow. And the tension of them lining up the shot.
Yeah.
People find it fascinating. It's probably not as popular as it used to be, but we also love darts. Darts is a strange one to love, but that apparently is a really good sport to watch. I've not watched it.
I've never watched darts either.
Yeah. We have no other transitions to get into our next thing. We've transitioned really nicely.
We really have.
I don't know what's next.
I mean, I think I'm pretty much done. I have language. We have language, but
Did
I
you
think
use politics, or we're going to leave that?
I did the education part.
Oh. So we could quickly mention politics. US politics are fucked up. British politics are fucked up. They're never going to get better until the people agree with each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never going to work. Britain's leaving the EU. Good choice. It's not a good choice. I'm Scottish, so I'll scared to think that. And then you've got Donald Trump, so I'm upset.
We don't.
Which I shouldn't say in the South. I'm sure people will listen to this like, Donald Trump says all good stuff, but he's a bit of an idiot.
It's our
I don't know.
podcast, and we can agree on this.
Yeah. As I'm sure Republicans are doing something right somewhere, but no,
Where?
you've got Donald Trump, so you're an idiot.
Yep.
Sorry.
Get throw religion in there too if we want to.
Yeah, well, let's hit religion very, very quickly.
While we're at it.
In the UK, you have the Church of England, Church of Scotland, which is a Christian church, which is run by the head of the church is the Queen or King of England. So essentially, it's Elizabeth at the moment. That was basically coming away from Catholicism, which is the Pope. That's the big differences, and there's lots of fighting and previous things going on with Ireland and stuff with all that. But you have that. You have some Jewish people. You have some. Well, you have every other religion, but it's really minorities, and nobody really cares. I'd probably say that as being someone who's Catholic but doesn't really practice at all and believe. But that's about it. There's no real. Oh, we're the church. Oh, we do this. Oh, you know, in God we trust. Good. So that's basically religion in the UK. It's there, but it doesn't dictate anything.
And it's completely opposite here.
Mm-hmm.
It dictates everything, and especially because we're like living in the Bible Belt part of things, so the mega churches rule. everything.
Mega churches.
Yeah.
See, that seems crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I've driven past them, and they're like warehouses.
They're huge.
They're massive. And you have the pastors, the priests, I don't know what you guys call them here, because they've got microphones on. It's like they're Tim Robbins preaching to everyone. Yeah. It seems crazy. So, and that's various types of Christianity.
Yeah.
I have no idea what they are, but you've got the Baptists, and you've got the Catholics, and you've got whatever
Methodist,
else. Yeah.
Lutheran. I don't know. There's so many different types. Yeah.
It's mental. And hey, if it gives everyone something to believe in and it helps them through the day, credit to them. I don't like it when they push it, which quite a lot of America does.
Yes.
I remember going to Kroger, the local store, and there's always a guy outside handing me leaflets, you know, saying, "Oh, God loves you, Jesus loves you here, come and listen to my radio station." I'm like, okay, I get you're trying to sell a radio station, but you're making it as though God's making or asking me to do this, which anyway, that's my beliefs. But you also have wider varieties of other religions. You have a strong Jewish community. You have a strong, everything else, I guess.
Yeah.
To some degree, as in we have quite a lot of Muslims in the UK. I don't think you have. Well, I suppose it depends what city. In Houston, you don't have many, do you? Houston, I don't think there's any. Well, there will be some, but
yeah, I don't know about
sure
Houston.
A mosque somewhere.
I feel like there is. I feel like I've driven past one. But
it's not
I think in the South, the biggest push is
Christianity.
Southern Baptist.
Oh, Southern Baptist, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the whole fact, as in, like, you can't run for state, or you can't run for government unless you believe in God here. It's crazy. Like, it probably is like that in the UK as well, but it's not really. It wouldn't be frowned upon if you weren't. But I feel like, as you sign in. I was about to say you sign in declaration saying that you'll do God's bidding type stuff. I don't know what they actually say, but in the UK we say that about the Queen, so we put our top of the list. I can't really comment too much.
Yeah, and then also here, like, everything's like religion and patriotism are very much intertwined. Like the whole God bless America thing, and it's all just
we have it on your
together.
money. You have the In God We Trust, and then God bless America. It's part of your song, is it? Your anthem.
Where it's supposed to be separation of church and state, but they're all just smushed in there together.
Yep. Doesn't make for it's exactly why you have the issues you have now.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing of the LGBT community. I think it's probably more than
There's a Q. You forgot the Q.
The Q. What's the Q stand for?
Queer, right? LGBTQ.
Is Q stand for queer? Okay, I don't know.
I think so.
Okay, if it doesn't, sorry. Yeah, because that that whole, I don't know if Trump. Well, let's not get into that because that's something that I don't know enough about.
But I did read that the UK is some of the most progressive, like one of the most progressive places for the LGBTQ community.
Yeah. Well, I've honestly in my lifetime, I don't think I've ever experienced. Now I'm not part of that community, so I can't really say that, and I'm sure other people would say otherwise. But even being part of a rugby team in a boisterous sort of manner, I've never experienced anyone ever being actively bigoted towards the LGBTQ community at all. And people may say some derogatory things, but it's not like it's nobody really cares.
Yeah.
In Scotland, I believe our first minister's a lesbian.
Okay.
And she's out perfectly. I believe that. I've got to better check that because if that's not true, I'm just out to our first minister.
The Q stand can mean either questioning or queer.
Okay, questioning is probably a better one, I guess.
Yeah. So same-sex marriage has been like allowed in the UK for a while, and adoption's legal, and it's allowed here, but it's not widely accepted. There's a lot of opposition, and that's frustrating. But
yeah, I think the whole same-sex marriage thing, there's pushback against it, but it's accepted. Even so much, I know Ireland's not part of Great Britain, but Ireland have agreed to it recently, and they're very Catholic, very Christian. So if somewhere like that can really move forward with it, it shows you that Britain and the local countries are very similar in that sense. Okay, I totally got that wrong. Nicola Sturgeon, who is the First Minister of Scotland, is not a lesbian. I do apologise for anyone who's listened to this and thought that. I'm gonna probably cut this out because if my mum listens to this, she's gonna be like, oh, you're such an idiot. Maybe it was like the Labour candidate. Anyway, I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, it's all good. I think we're very comfortable with that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think that's good.
But it's almost like we don't even make it a deal. It's not an issue.
Yeah, which is, I feel like it's how it should be.
Same way, although we do a little bit, we don't really make ethnicity much of an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Although we have a lot less of it. That's another thing you notice. And I don't know, maybe it's the south, maybe it's specific areas, but in Scotland, the percentage of other ethnicities is really minor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's very few. I know in London and parts of England it's very different, but in Scotland, the Asian community is a lot smaller, so is the black community, so is any other community essentially.
Mm-hmm.
It's primarily white Scottish people or white British people, Anglo-Saxon type thing. But here you've got obviously not a major by any means, but definitely a larger,
much larger
black community, quite a large Asian community, and various types of Asians. I don't know if that's PC though, but you guys have your Chinese, your Vietnamese, you have your Korean.
Yeah.
We have very little Korean, Vietnamese people essentially. But which kind of, in a really weird, twisted, probably way I probably shouldn't mention too much, brings on to food a little bit.
I was just about to say that.
Okay, so that works quite well.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to start off with takeout. We call it takeaway or takeout,
yes.
Which is essentially, we say, do you want a takeout or do you want a takeaway? When we go down to a local takeaway and get food. And now, our main takeaway substances that aren't fast food restaurants are Indian or Chinese. Mm-hmm. Typically, people say, "Oh, do you want Chinese or do you want Indian?" And it'll be a curry, or it'll be sweet and sour king prawn balls, something like that. And that's our two main take. And then we obviously slowly moved a little bit toward Thai and all this sort of what we consider a little bit more fancy, but really Indian and Chinese. As an Indian would probably be the national food of Scotland, or Britain.
Yeah.
Just because how much we eat it.
Yeah, when we were in the Netherlands, like we were reading about it, and that was like, we're like, okay, when we go to Scotland, we have to try the Indian food. Like that was.
Yeah.
The thing
I don't know if it wasn't good when you tried it, but
it was really good.
It was I love good curry.
Yeah.
But when it goes further than that of food, like here in Houston, it's different because Houston the food's, oh my god, there's so much of it, and most of it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So you have lots of different restaurants to try, but I know in other areas, fast food restaurants is just, there's an abundance of fast food restaurants, and they're all very popular. Even ones that I never see anybody in, like Jack in the Box. It's still very popular. And you're like,
there's a lot of them.
Who's eating them?
I don't know who's eating it, but yes.
Like, obviously, you and I come from a type of people who don't eat fast food that often, if ever. But you're very aware of it because in the UK, if you said, everywhere. What's your fast food draw? I'd say McDonald's, Burger King, maybe KFC. If you're sort of wanting to spend a little bit more money, or you want chicken, and that'd be it. I can't really think of anything.
And your KFCs don't have all the sides, right? They just have fries.
You know what? I've never been to KFC, so I don't know.
Well,
I once went to KFC, and I didn't want any bones, so I just got popcorn chicken, I think. So I have no idea. And that was just as we were driving through because someone wanted KFC. Yeah. So we only have 2 burger places. We have Pizza Hut, but it's not really takeaway, is it? Well, we do have delivery, but it's not fast food, is it? Let's see how many of them can you name. American fast foods. Yeah.
Oh my god. We have McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, Jack in the Box, Sonic, Chick-fil-A, Wendy's, Hardee's, Subway. Does that count?
Yeah, yes. Oh, we do have Subway. I should just mention that. You have ones that listen to the radio, Arby's.
Oh, Arby's.
You have the meats, apparently. You have Whataburger.
Oh, yeah. In-N-Out in some places.
And these are just the major ones that everyone knows. I'm sure you have other ones that have local places, and they're primarily all burgers. Yeah. And then each individual place will have smaller, very frequent, like taco places. Taco places in Texas, oh my god. First of all, if you come to Texas, have tacos. Yes. But they've got so many tacos, it's ridiculous.
I had tacos last night.
And they're all very good. You should try them.
Yes.
I have no objection to it, but it's because eating out so cheap.
Yeah.
Which is strange because I always put it down to because you didn't pay your waiting staff and everyone else paid them, so the food was cheaper because you didn't have to pay as many staff. But it's not necessarily true because even fast food restaurants are cheap.
Mm-hmm.
They have to pay their staff.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how that works because groceries are expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Now I always thought when you grow up in the UK, especially when I was 15 years ago, and it was a big difference. You thought, oh, America's a land of gross overeating and so much things you can buy that are super cheap. If you came here, you would get all the cool equipment and trainers and clothes. It was super cheap because it was of the kind of currency exchange.
Mm-hmm.
But not food. I go to the shops, I spend more on food here than I did in the UK, and I probably eat less here than I did in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
So and we're an island, so we import everything, and somehow it's cheaper for us.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's taxes again, but
yeah.
But eating out, if you go out for a burger in the UK, not like a fast food one, it's going to cost you £20 if you take a drink and maybe a nice burger and maybe a starter or something. £20 to £30, which is equivalent to about $40, $45, which you can get a steak here some places for $45. A steak, which in the UK would set you back like £100. So yeah, eating out here is so much easier, and
there's so many places to do it.
Yeah, and it's so good.
Yeah.
Again, that's Houston. I don't know if that's the whole of America. I'm sure if you go to some heck town in the middle of Wisconsin, it's probably not the same, but who goes there? You always come to the big cities.
Yes. What's your favorite restaurant in Houston?
I've only been to like a handful. Like, you get to the ones that you like and you go back to them. I love the Tex-Mex food, or the Mexican food, whatever you want to refer to it as. So I love Lupe's for that. The Filmion, like, fajitas are great. However, any of the steak places I've been to, I've been pretty solid. Especially one called Steak 48 or Taste of Texas. They're not the most expensive. Well, Steak 48 is pretty expensive. They're most expensive, but they're good. They do know how to do meat here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard we need to go to a steak place. We haven't been to one yet.
You'll have to go to one at some point for sure. If you enjoy steak at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the food goes, and the quantities that we've spoken about. I know I can't really space because you know what? I didn't mention fish and chips. Fish and chips in the UK is massive. How do I not mention that? So that's basically a haddock or a cod, deep fried in batter for a side of chips, and either salt and sauce, salt and vinegar if you're from Edinburgh, Glasgow, or just salt and vinegar everywhere else.
And by chips he means French fries.
Yes. French fries. This is ridiculous. But that's all the words. So that takes us quite nicely onto words. There is an abundance of words that don't translate very well. Even though we both speak English, even though you have those classic memes of Americans, saying, "Oh wow, you speak really good English." I've actually had that. No joke, I've had that since I've been here, and I'm not even lying. This isn't just like a fake anecdote. I've been here, and people say, "Wow, you speak really good English." I'm like, "Yeah, no, you don't know what to say. It's ridiculous." It tends to be, you go to Chipotle, another great food place actually, and they're like, "Oh, I love your accent. Where are you from?" "I'm from Scotland." It's like, "Oh, you have really good English." I'm like, and they're speaking to you in like a kind of a Mexican accent, which obviously they've been in America all their lives, so they have it from home and have that wee accent. So you're like, you sound less speaking English than I do. How can you say that to me? It doesn't make any sense. But I get that a lot, and then nobody knows where my accent's from, which is maybe more understandable. I've had a few people say, "Oh, you're from Australia? Are you from like Finland?" I'm like, "No, I'm Scotland. But thanks. I guess that's how it works." The dog's bringing his wee toy, and you can hear the squeak. I'm gonna keep that in.
What other words?
I think turns of phrases are more noticeable than words. Like in Britain, I don't think there's any very few American words which we don't understand or we don't. But that's due to media, which we haven't talked about at all, which maybe for another day. Because we see so like things like all cartoons are most like Cartoon Network cartoons are American. Things like Friends and Scrubs and even the ones that are done by British actors like House, they're all American written. Yeah. So we understand all your lingo almost entity unless you're sort of really southern drawl or something else. But the other way around doesn't work. Yeah. We and it depends where you come from as well, because like Scotland and England and London and Manchester and Liverpool, all different accents, which are really hard to understand. Even as a British person, they're hard to understand. Plus, they've all got their own lingo for everything.
Okay.
Like, you've got the famous Cockney rhyming slang, which, have you heard of this?
No.
Okay, so Cockney rhyming slang is they'll say something that's totally unrelated, but it rhymes with the word, so that becomes it.
Okay. Do you have an example?
If I was to say, oh, I'm just having a bubble, what would that mean?
Having a drink?
No.
Like a beer?
No.
What?
It's way more obscure than that. So bubble, bath,
Okay.
laugh. I'm having a laugh. So it doesn't make any sense. It's totally twisted. You know? Like there's slightly easier ones. Oh, I'm just on the dog and bone.
On my way home?
No.
I don't know.
No, so that's I'm on the phone. Because bone rhymes with phone.
Okay.
So that one's a little bit easier to get.
These are hard.
Yeah, they're really difficult. And there's good websites. You should look it up because I'm like, is this real rhyming slang or not rhyming slang? But there's pretty much anything that rhymes with something can be Cockney rhyming slang to a degree. But it's, if you ever go to London, you go to a black cab and you're in the East End of London, you'll hear it. If they're white. You know? But yeah, Cockney rhyming slang's really famous. But then you've got Manchester and Liverpool and Newcastle have really distinct accents. And
can you do them for me?
Oh, you know what? I'll try, but they're really...
Okay,
let's see. So you got Liverpool. Liverpool is like north of England, and it's like about a couple of 100 miles, or maybe less than 100 miles east of Manchester. In Liverpool, they like things like really odd. No, I can't do that.
Okay.
I know.
Fair enough.
They're very... I probably can if I spent a bit more time trying. I probably should have done it for us. But the accents are different. Newcastle's a really famous one. And a lot of the famous TV celebrities have these accents, and they're almost loved a little bit more because they have accents that are very strong. There's 2 TV presenters in the UK called Ant and Dec who have got really strong Newcastle accents, and they're beloved. And I think part of it is just the accent. But you've got those 3, and then you've got Scottish, and anyway, changes. But words wise, what bits and bobs? Do you guys say bits and bobs?
No.
Going around the house, I've just got to do some bits and bobs. That's one that some people pick me up on quite a lot. You've probably heard,
like odds and ends?
Yeah, it's like I've got things to do.
Okay.
That are bits and bobs. If you're just plodding about, if I was like, someone said, how's your day? I was like, oh, no, just plodding along.
Just like going along slowly?
Well, no, yeah, see, it just means like, yeah, just doing the normal, nothing fancy. There's a lot more, but to me, they're just how I'd say things, and unless someone's picked them out, I don't know. The word we, for little, that's a Scottish thing more than anything, but we say that a lot. But there's words for, I don't know, I guess it all depends. I know one is for being drunk. We have a ridiculous amount of words for being drunk.
Okay.
I actually have a bit of a list, and I'm going to give you a wee challenge to figure out which one of these are real words for being drunk and ones that are not. I'm going to give you a couple of easy ones to begin with.
Okay.
Is the word smashed, does that mean drunken up? Is that one that we use?
Yes.
Yes, that's kind of an easy one. And pissed?
Yes.
Wasted?
Is that one that you use or we use or everybody uses?
Well, is it one you would think would mean drunk?
Yes.
Yes. How about ghoulied?
Yes.
No, we don't use
What's
ghoulied.
that?
That's a made up one. It's just
Okay.
random word. How about mulad?
Yes.
Yes, we do. How about rat-arsed?
No.
Yes, we do. Rat-arsed.
What is...
Yeah, I don't understand half of it.
Alright.
Trolleyed?
Yes.
Yes, we do. Feather dusted?
No.
No, we don't. You're right. Chewing bricks?
Yes.
No, just made up. So, yeah. Howling?
Yes.
Yep. Legless?
Yes.
Yeah. Cream crackered?
Yes.
No, but we'd use it for being knackered. That's the kind of rotten Iranian slang. Pished?
Yes.
I think I said that one already. Lamped?
No.
Yep.
Okay.
Plastered? Did I say
Yes.
that one already? I think I did. Ratted?
Yes.
Yep. Wankered?
Yes.
Yep. Wellied?
Yes.
Yep. Spannered?
Yes.
Sozzled?
Yes.
You pretty much got them all. Badgered?
Yes.
Paralytic?
Yeah.
Steaming?
Yes.
Goosed?
Yes.
Gutted?
Yes.
Hammered?
Yes.
Yes, pretty much we have so many
There are
words.
so many
for being
words.
Drunk. It's unbelievable. And this is only a small part of it. Stonking? Yes. We've got so many of them, it's ridiculous. But there was actually a funny comedian, Michael McIntyre in the UK, who does a wee skit about it, which he says you can pretty much say any word after like the phrase, "Oh, last night I was totally," and it would mean you were absolutely wasted. Okay. So he does a really one funny one. It's like, "Oh, last night I was totally bicycled," and you know, in the context you get it. So I think that's where these sort of words come from. But, I've heard every single one of these being used on a Sunday morning or a Saturday morning. Yeah, so that's quite funny.
Yeah, that's funny.
Do you have any more words? Have you noticed that I've said or vice versa?
I did, yeah. Well, so this is one that was in the Netherlands too, like the floors of the buildings. So like when you walk in downstairs, what floor would that be?
Ground floor.
Okay, and then this would be
the first floor.
Okay. In the US, that would be the first floor, and this would be the second floor. Which
makes sense, but doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like when you're counting to 1, or when you're counting to 10, what do you start on? Do you start on 1 or do you start on 0?
0. So it does make sense.
Yeah, but it doesn't. So in an elevator, is the ground floor 1 or is it a G?
G. And then there's the first floor.
So
I get
if
it.
you go to hotels,
I get it.
Yeah. No, it's just an interesting sort of.
Yeah.
Idiosyncrasy. Is that the right word? Oh, I wish it is. I hope it is. Let's just go for it.
So there was that one, and then biscuit and cookie.
Okay, yeah, biscuits. Well, we talked about this a little bit last week, didn't we? With my friend on biscuits. So, is a cookie anything? That's so in the UK, cookies only the round ones that have like chocolate chips. That's the only thing you'd get like a. Yeah, that'd be considered a cookie.
Only a chocolate chip one?
Well, no, it can be like it doesn't have to have chocolate chips, but if it's round, typically it will have chocolate chips though, and it's round if it's sort of got that sort of textured top. Yeah, that'd be a cookie. Okay. Anything else is a biscuit. Pretty much. Okay. Apart from a Jaffa cake, which nobody knows.
I don't know what that is.
Of course you don't know what Jaffa is. So Jaffa cake is like one of the best snacks. Okay. Don't know if it's a biscuit or not. And it's just like a soft, foamy, kind of like a what cake's made out sometimes when they're soft.
Flour? I don't know. Sponge.
Sponge. It's like a sponginess with a layer of chocolate and then like a wee bit of Jaffa, which is like kind of like a it's like a jello-y, orange jello-y thing. But nobody knows if it's a biscuit or cake because it comes in a packet, so it's a biscuit. But if you leave it out, it gets hard like a cake. Okay. And there's constant discussions about it. But it's called Jaffa cake, but it's more like a biscuit. So anyway, it's great. Why did I go into that? I don't know. Yeah, I had another really good.
I had a few ones.
Okay.
So what would you call a flashlight?
Torch.
Mm-hmm. An elevator?
Elevator, I would call it lift.
What about a line? Like if you have to stand in line.
Queue.
Yeah.
I fucking hate queues. So much queuing.
I know. A trunk of a car?
Boot.
Yep. Apartment.
Flat, I guess. Yeah. Flat, yeah.
Yeah. Garbage.
Garbage, trash, rubbish.
Rubbish.
No, I wouldn't say trash. That's take away trash.
Rubbish?
Pardon?
You wouldn't say rubbish?
I would say rubbish. I wouldn't say trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd definitely say rubbish. There's a rubbish bin. There's put it in the bin. I guess bin is another one. You say trash can. You don't say bin.
I also found that like the languages, like how the different parts of language are different. So we say like we say sentences in the past simple, and you guys use the present perfect, like tense. So like we would say I ate too much, and you guys would say I've eaten too much.
Oh, we do say that.
Yeah.
I've not noticed that, but I guess you do say that.
Yeah, and then prepositions too. So like if I say I'm going to a party on the weekend, the UK version might be I'm going to a party at the weekend instead of on.
Wait, who says on? We do.
You say at. We say on.
At the weekend.
On the week. We're on the weekend. You're at the weekend. Yeah.
Huh. So that's to do with tenses. You know, I never noticed it, but when you say it, it's definitely the way I would say it. Yeah. But we both understand it. It's just
just different ways of saying it.
Yeah.
So just random facts that I found are just differences. How many homes, like percentage-wise, how many homes do you think have AC in the UK?
Oh, I would say almost none.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been in a house that's had the AC.
Really?
Ever in the UK. I've been to like shops, stores, sure, maybe some hotels. Most hotels, never a house.
That's 0.5%.
Yeah.
And how many do you think in the US?
I would say probably the opposite, 95%.
87.
87%?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot of AC.
Yeah.
But how many houses in the US have radiators. Do you even know what a radiator is?
I know what one is.
Okay.
It's because I lived in another country, though.
Yeah. So, for those who don't know, a radiator is essentially, we have called central heating. So that's when, instead of using air to heat, we use water. And we'll send water throughout the house to heat it up. And typically, we'll have radiators to expel that heat, which are just metal pipes, essentially, that's kind of woven against the wall.
Mm-hmm. What was really nice was to hang a towel on the radiator, and you take a shower, and then you have a really warm towel.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
But that's where we did most of our drying. Most of our clothes had to dry either on the radiators or on a clothes horse, which is pretty, can be pretty brutal, really.
Mm-hmm. Another one I had was store hours in the UK versus the US.
Oh, I know for a fact this is pretty bad, because I live in the UK, and if you try to go to the shops after about 6, maybe 7 o'clock, everything's closed.
Yep.
Sundays pretty much all closed between like after 12 and 4 or something. Everything's closed.
Mm-hmm.
Even Saturdays it's closed.
But here,
yeah,
24 hours.
Yeah, and that's not just like just your big stores. Even small stores are open until like 9 at night.
Yep.
It's great.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose it's because you work longer hours and people need to go get their goods.
What else are you gonna do it?
But that did make things a lot easier.
Yeah.
For me, getting things started when I first moved over, for sure. Especially, we have one day a week. With Thursdays, we have extended shop hours.
That was the Netherlands day too.
Yeah, I don't know why it's Thursday, because...
Was it Thursdays or Tuesdays? I think it was Thursdays though. But even then, it wasn't like late. It was like 8 o'clock instead of 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. It wasn't that long.
Well, let's see, I remember I worked in a shop, and it used to be closed on Monday, and it used to open at like 10 and close at 6 or something. If that, maybe even earlier than 6, maybe 5:30.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually, over time, it extended its time, and it started opening early and closing later. But even now, it still sticks by some of these weird hours. And it's almost more like we've got that stubborn upper lip British stuff. Mm-hmm. We're like, no, we're not doing this because we're British. We're not letting into your American ways. That's a common thing people have said in the UK quite a lot about how, oh, you're just trying to be American, or you're trying to be, copy the Americans, or you're speaking in an American accent, singing in an American accent. We get that a lot as well. It's strange.
That was another thing I found. The half 5, which you just said. What does that mean?
Oh, of course, clock times. That's another one. People, 5:30 would mean half past the 5th hour.
Yeah, so like 5:30.
Really, 5:30 essentially what I mean.
But it could also be like halfway to 5. It's not. I get that it's not.
Okay, yeah.
But it could be.
I
like
see,
if you don't,
where you're going with,
if you don't understand that that's what half 5 means. It could also be like 4:30.
That's what we get taught it, which is a really strange thing. Alright, I've got some more list of bits and bobs.
Okay.
Let's see it. We have a hierarchy of shops, of stores to go for your food in the UK, which is kind of funny. We have Waitrose, which is considered very posh and very upper class, and then it kind of goes down to Sainsbury's, Tesco's, Asda, Lidl, then Aldi. And that's your sort of hierarchy, if depending on what shop you go to. And they all supply the same foods, just slightly more expensive than other shops and others. And you can determine by the plastic bags that people carry home, you can determine what class they're in, which seems ridiculous. But that's typically the way it goes. It's stupid, but I think the UK has a class system still, which they deny, which is really bad. But even our shops have a bit of that. But here, I don't feel like... I know Walmart is maybe the lower, but everything else is, from what I've experienced, everything else seems to be quite average, up with Whole Foods. You have like one extreme, you have like a really low one, which would be Walmart, and then you have a really high one, which is your Whole Foods, and everything else in between is like just common. Yeah. And we drink a shit ton of tea, which you do drink some, especially in the south. You drink some iced tea, especially. But you drink a lot more coffee here. Like, don't get me wrong, you drink coffee in the UK as well, but everyone loves tea.
The tea here, well, especially in the south, is different because usually it's sweet tea. Have you had sweet tea?
Yeah, but I don't like tea in general, so I don't drink it. But yeah,
but it's not like good tea.
Yeah, it's not like the tea that you probably have to cook. What other changes are there? We have 2 main sauces for our foods. It'll be ketchup, tomato sauce, or red sauce, depending on what you call it, same thing. Yeah. Or we have brown sauce.
Okay, what is the brown sauce? I always saw it, but I never tried it.
So brown sauce is HP. I can't remember what HP stands for, and it's got a picture of Big Ben, which is the Westminster Abbey, not Westminster Abbey, where's Big Ben attached to? Westminster, yeah, which is the Parliament. And it is a blended sauce of spices. It's really strange because you don't see it anywhere else. I see it in the British aisle of Kroger, the shop here, and it is it's actually, I think it's originally from the Netherlands. I think it's a Heinz product, which is from the Netherlands, and it has like a bunch of different spices and I'm trying to figure out in vinegar. Okay. I think it's. I'm trying to find.
I wish I would have tried it.
You know what? It's not great.
Okay.
And
I'm glad I didn't
try. This might be
it.
blasphemy, you know, as in, if you have a bacon sandwich though, a little bit of HP is magic. Okay, here we go. Tomato-based blended malt vinegar.
Okay.
With some spirit vinegar, some sugars, some dates, corn flour, and other spices in it. That's it. And it can be used in hot and cold foods with stews. You can use it to make barbecue sauce, but HP sauce on a sausage or bacon sandwich is like gospel to some people.
And bacon sandwiches are also amazing.
Yeah. Well, bacon.
Yeah.
Bacon. All right. Fuck bacon. Excuse my language. In America, you know what bacon in America is? Yes. It's fat with like a millimeter of meat on it. Yep. It's basically strips of fat. It's the bit of in Britain, for all those British listeners. You know the bit that you sometimes cut off the bacon? That's what they have as standard bacon here. Yep. And not only they stick it in like sugar and maple syrup and anything they can get it on. Like, for real, you'll go to a breakfast place and they'll have, do you want an order of maple soaked bacon? I'm like, no, I don't want maple soaked bacon. But our bacons have like you maybe call them bacon medallions so here. Good. It looks like a really thin pork chop essentially, and it is the bomb. Yep. And even vegetarians will tell you that bacon is amazing. And well, I don't have to tell internet bacon's amazing, but when it comes to British bacon, and I'm assuming other countries have similar bacon to Britain, but it is amazing.
We should just talk about the breakfast in general, because that was probably my favorite part of the food in the UK.
Yeah. Well, we don't have such a variety of breakfast foods. Here you can have breakfast tacos, you can go have some biscuits and gravy, you can go have you've got your McMuffins, you've got so much different options, or your kolaches. I love kolaches here, at least my workplace does. Back home, we either have cereal, you'll have toast, or you'll have what's called a fry-up, or English breakfast, which would be like sausages, beans, eggs, bacon, sometimes hash browns, sometimes like a roasted tomato, black pudding, which you guys don't have
that
here.
One I don't like. We can leave the black pudding off.
No, black pudding is amazing. I don't know why they don't have more of it in America. Americans would love it. It's basically congealed blood, but it's amazing. Sometimes black pudding, sometimes fruit pudding. What else would they have? And they have it with like a buttered bit of toast. That's good. It's
the best.
Yeah.
The beans. That's like my favorite part of it.
So that's another,
and the tomato.
Heinz beans, yeah. Heinz beans are a big staple for British food. Yeah. It's crazy. Beans on toast is like one of these ones. What other things? Toilets. If I'm going to the toilet, I say, I need to nip to the loo, I need to go to the toilet, I need to go for a leak, any of this stuff. Where here you say washroom because you're being polite. I know you don't always say washroom, you sometimes say toilet, and I'll say, do you guys say we'll go for a wee?
Restroom.
You say you go for a pee, don't you?
Yeah.
And a wee. Yeah, we go for a wee. Weather, we'd have to talk about the weather. It's obvious, Britain's crap. Apart from south of England and anything else, it's just... Yeah, in Texas it's totally different. We spoke about it last week. Yeah. Paid vacation, paternity leave.
Yes.
And that's nothing that affects us at the moment, but yeah, we get like, I think maternity leave is 6 weeks in the UK, I think, minimum.
12 weeks unpaid.
Okay.
No, that's the US, 12 weeks unpaid.
That's the US, okay.
And then the UK is maternity can be up to 39 weeks.
Yeah. So I know most places get about 6 months. I know if you're a teacher, it's amazing. So if you're a teacher and you work 1 year and you get pregnant, you can take a year off.
Oh wow!
Right? But yes, you can come back, work for another year, and get another year off if you have another baby. So essentially, you could, in 4 years, get paid for 4 years' work, only actually work 2 years and have 2 years off.
But then you also have 2 kids. You
also have 2 kids, which is all your money's going to them anyway. So it's sort of not the best way of doing it, but
yeah, I get.
That's pretty gnarly. That's what great rights teachers have. Well, I'm sure they've had some bad things too, but That's it. Oh,
Yeah.
plasters. What's a plaster?
I have no
If
idea.
I say to you, oh, have you got a plaster?
No. I don't know.
Plaster's a Band-Aid.
Oh, I did know
Band-Aid's a
this.
brand name, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
But on the flip side, what's a Hoover?
Vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
I did know this one.
Yeah, okay, so Hoover is a brand name as well, but for some reason, a lot of British people call it Hoover as opposed to, what's a cotton bud? You guys know that one probably.
Q-tip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's another one that we have. Oh, let's not even get into the NHS and the health service.
Yeah.
National Health Service in Britain is probably one of the greatest, things ever.
Yeah.
Canada probably, I think, has a very similar one, but that's great. It's good and bad. You don't get seen as quickly, but it's essentially free, even though you pay taxes. And we go to A&E, not ER.
Okay.
Accidents and emergencies, where you go to emergency room.
Mm-hmm.
We don't say errands. We don't tend to say, I've got some errands to run. We'll say, I've got things to do, or bits and bobs, as I mentioned earlier.
Bits and bobs.
Nobody carries guns. That's another one that we could maybe leave that for a whole other topic, guns.
Yeah.
But people love a gun in America, especially down here in Texas.
Yep.
They need to get rid of them. That's just my view. Back to the food. A large Coke in America is considered, well, we don't even have that size.
No.
So a small in the UK would be...
Like the kid size, right? Here.
Yeah, so a medium in the States is a regular back... No, that's not wrong either. It's basically, we've got like a size smaller for every thing that you have. So a large for you would be... A large for us would be a medium for you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the way it goes. Which just screams crazy. We don't have drive-through anything, or very few things. You have drive-through banks, which I think is cool, but weird. How can you have a drive-through
I never thought
bank?
about that.
We can drive up to the ATM, which we don't call ATM, we call cash machine, and get money out and drive away. They also have drive-through margaritas.
I haven't figured that one out yet.
You can drive your car to a place and get a margarita and drive away.
Okay.
Let me repeat that. You can get in your car, drive to a building, not even get out your car, drive to the building, buzz the thing, goes, what would you order? I was like, can I have 6 margaritas, please? Of course. Drive to the next window, get 6 margaritas into your car. Okay, it's in a brown bag, I can't see it, and drive off. You say that's backwards. That's so weird.
Are they alcoholic margaritas?
Yes. Sorry, I should specify alcoholic margaritas.
Because I've never been to this place. I've seen it. I drive past it.
That's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Like, I get it might not be for you, and people love margaritas here, and blah blah blah. You can take them home, but
still.
That's. What other things? Pickles. What's a pickle?
Like a.
Do you know what we call it?
No.
Oh, you almost meant it. Yeah, gherkin.
Yes.
Gherkin. I love a gherkin. Oh, what else do we have? It's different. Can you think of anything?
I can't think of anything else.
Okay, text messages. Now, I'm sure the chat's different, but if I was to put 3 X's at the end of my text message, what would that mean? No, it doesn't mean hardcore porn. I know what you're going for. What does it mean?
Like hugs?
Not quite. It means kisses.
Yeah.
And typically, especially as a teenager, you would finish your text off, alright, see you tonight, kiss. Mm-hmm. And we wouldn't kiss, it would just be an X. Mm-hmm. You guys don't do that here, which is really weird.
I just put a lot of emoticon hearts.
Yeah, well, that's now you've got iPhones, you can do that. But when you had the Nokia 3310, you won't find any hearts, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. Period. What's a period?
Like a full stop?
Yeah. You guys don't have any kettles. Why don't you have any kettles?
Because
and
I
don't
drink
mean a
tea.
kettle you put on a stove. No.
Oh.
What's the best way to heat water?
Okay, I have one of those.
Okay, you do.
Yes.
But you're the minority, and I know like 2 other people. But they have. If you look at a kitchen counter in America, they'll have blenders, and they'll have fair enough, they have coffee machines, but they have all this other crazy mechanical stuff. But they don't have a kettle. Kettle is like the only thing you need in a kitchen in the UK. As a student, if you had a kettle, that's all you needed, because you had a pot noodle and you had a cup of tea. That's all you needed. And all it was is it boiled hot water. And it's, instead of putting a kettle on the stove, or even if you're making tatties, potatoes, you put the tatties in the pan and you pour hot the boiling water and then you turn on the stove, because then it's quicker.
Okay.
You guys don't have it. Why don't you have it? It's the best thing ever. It frustrated me. Not that I drink tea or coffee, but if I did.
I think it goes back to the a lot of the coffee there's instant coffee, right?
Yeah. primarily, I guess.
And then here it would just be like
no,
use
my,
coffee.
like my family doesn't. My family would drink
Okay.
French press coffee. We call it cafetiere because it's the proper name for it, but you guys call it French press. This is a thing I say a lot to people. We do it correctly, but this isn't entirely true. But I also feel like I do.
The only other thing I had was that the U.S. can get more, like, a lot of people get more excited or, like, expressive about things.
Yeah, that's actually a very nice thing. Well, we kind of mentioned it earlier. It's really nice when you kind of want to be in a good mood, but it can also seem a little bit fake sometimes. Not that it is, but it can seem that. But yeah, everyone has a strong opinion about everything. In UK, sure it'll be fine in the end. Yeah, we're very sort of lackadaisical.
Yeah.
Or you'll keep it for house. This is house chat. You go home and talk about it rather than tell anybody else. What about? Do you have uniforms at school?
It depends on the school. Here, like in Houston, yes, most of the schools are uniformed.
Okay, I didn't know that.
But like in our high school, no.
Do you have separate boys and girls schools?
No, but you guys do, don't you?
Yeah, we have. Well, our public schools aren't state schools. State schools are the ones that government pays for. Public schools are the ones that the parents pay for.
Okay.
And they tend to be the separate boys and girls. It's less common now, but we had a lot of that when my parents were younger. Jaywalking isn't illegal. That's another
Here?
one. In UK.
Okay.
You guys aren't allowed to jaywalk. Which, for don't know, is just crossing the road.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Just crossing the road, but not at a stop sign or traffic light. What do you call it?
Like a cross light.
Cross
thing.
light.
Yeah.
You call it a fillet steak. We call it a fillet.
Okay.
I don't know if that's anything, but a common term everyone knows, the word fag. So the word fag here is quite a derogative term for a homosexual. And in the UK it's a cigarette. Less commonly used now though because of that connotation, I guess. We don't know what grilled cheese is. We call it a toasty.
But it's basically the same thing, right?
Yeah, exact same thing, I believe. You guys get paid bi-weekly, like every 2 weeks here.
Yes.
In some
most, like, yeah, a lot of
we
people
get paid monthly.
Okay.
It used to be. I know police officers used to get paid bi-weekly back in the UK. Not bi-weekly. Is that twice a week? I have no idea. Every
Bi-monthly.
2 weeks.
Bi-monthly.
But is that every 2 months? Or is that twice a month? Yeah, I know. Honestly, just do you use the word fortnight here?
No, but I know what it means.
So fortnight. Try and guess what fortnight means, listeners. That means 2 weeks essentially. A fortnight. I don't know why. I'm quite interested to look that up. I should do. Fortnight would be every 2 weeks. We could talk about units, but that's probably another massive topic. Pounds to kilograms to stones to ounces to pints and gallons and litres. Oh my god, I could go on forever. The only thing we have... however, I will tell you, interesting fact, a UK pint is different to a US pint.
Really?
A UK pint's slightly more. So if you want a pint of beer in the UK, you get a little bit more. It's like... I could say in millilitres, but you know what I'm talking about, so it doesn't matter, I guess.
Because we're one of the only ones that don't use the metric system.
Yep. And you in like one other place in the world doesn't use it.
Yep.
We have letterboxes, not mailboxes, and they tend to be at the front door. We have to we make the mailman come all the way up to the door, put it through. I don't know. Cheers. We use that to end emails and conversations. We also cheers if you're having a toast. Okay. Nobody grills anything.
Nobody grills?
If we do grill, it's called a barbecue.
Okay.
Grill for us is what we have in the oven. So I don't know if you guys have grills here. I don't know if you do. You might do. But we barbecue and it's only during the summer and it's maybe once if you're lucky and it'll tend to rain regardless. So that's what we do. Everybody loves Democrats for some reason and doesn't like Republicans in the UK. We don't know why. It just seems to be the way it goes. Like
Hold on. Nobody likes the US Democrats?
Yeah. So we don't have the same parties.
Yeah.
We have Labour, Conservative, Lib Dem, Green Party, UKIP, which nobody votes for anyway, and SNP, which is Scottish National Party. We have lots of different parties, but you have like 2 main ones.
2, yeah.
And we all seem to like your Democrats.
Okay,
Maybe
you like the
because
Democrats.
Liberal.
Yeah. I mean, I feel the
when
same
we
way.
think Republican, we think guns, we think no abortion, we think Donald Trump.
Yeah, so do I.
It's weird because we all love Obama, or we all loved Obama.
Yes.
Nobody likes Donald Trump, and we don't know what to think about Hillary. Hillary's
we're
alright,
pretty much
but
on the same boat.
Yeah, so that's pretty much America, yeah. Okay, cool. Oh man, we could go on for hours about how many things are different.
I know, there's so many.
Now, taking away family, where would you rather live? Now, I'm assuming this is going to be America for you and Britain for me.
No, you have to be taking away friends. That's my bigger thing. Taking away friends and family.
Okay, yeah. So
I would say the UK.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm pretty surprised, actually. Why?
I don't know. It's just so much fun. I don't know. I loved the UK.
Yeah. So, taking away friends and family, it's pretty difficult. Weather-wise, I prefer the UK.
Really?
Too hot here.
I would say the weather here, though.
I see. If I lived a little bit more north, where we get a little bit of both, it's not as hot and not as cold, that'd be perfect.
Okay.
So maybe like, I don't know, a couple of states up would be perfect. But here's just too hot for me. UK is a bit too cold for me. Well, not cold for me, it's perfect, but I mean, prefer the sports in America, prefer the sports for the kids here. No, I prefer rugby, sorry, UK sports. Prefer the lack of racism in the UK.
I think that would be why. Like, I'm very much more liberal, and everything, I think, tends to jive better with that.
But I guess also depends what state you live in.
That is true.
I'm sure people in LA and Colorado are a lot more liberal than Texas, for example. Yeah. So, you have anything else to add?
No.
All right, next week we don't know what we're talking about yet.
But tune in.
But tune in. Tune in. Tune. It's a CH. Tune.
Tune in.
Tune. CH. Like tuna.
Yeah.
And chuma. No, we'd say tuma. No, we wouldn't. I don't know.
Chuma?
That could be a Scottish thing. Or it could also be a me thing, I'm not sure. But I'm pretty sure it's a Scottish thing.
All right, let us know what you think on our Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook pages.
All of them are the Mumblecast. So it's at the Mumblecast on any one of them. You should get us, I think.
Yeah.
Cool.
Follow us.
All right, bye.
Bye.